Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are building a dog bed from a pallet, which sounded like a great idea and super easy to do. And part of it was, but not all of it. So you'll hear me mumbling later on. But taking a pallet apart is not necessarily the easiest thing in the world to do. So unless you really have pallets just readily available and you need a reason to use them or you're trying to be thrifty, I would not suggest seeking out pallets to then take apart. Because I feel like you would waste a lot of time and effort when you could just go buy some wood. Or just get some maybe already undone or some reclaimed wood somewhere else. So, point being, this was a fun project and it looks super cute in our living room at this point. Our former foster dog, Pops, wasn't having it. He had no interest in it, as you will see, but thankfully our new little guy is all about it. So, without further ado, let's check this out. What I'm going to do actually is sand it down a little bit with my power sander here. I'm going to use these gloves so that I don't ruin my hands on this lovely wood. But you can see it's really sharp and rough, so I figure the first thing, actually before I pull it apart, is to sand it so I don't put splinters all on myself and see what I'm really working with and what is going to be useful. So I'm going to do some of that and then we'll be right back. So this, nice little saw. The sanding process can take some time, especially if you're going to do it by hand, which is why this tool really comes in handy, this power sander. I love this thing. I use it all the time, but it's unnecessary if you don't want to spend the money on it. I totally get that. You can definitely do something by hand. I just do enough projects that I think this thing costs like 30 bucks, so it wasn't a big deal. That looks pretty good. There's still some bits and pieces, but I'd say for this side, oh good, it's good. Now, hammer. I am going to take off these boards on the bottom and this middle piece, so that's my next step. Basically just ripping this up. I don't know if you can tell, the head's gone. Okay, that's one. Two. Put the whole wood underneath. This is why, unless you are like completely accessible to pallets and completely thrifty, I guess is the right word, or to reusing things, don't seek them out, just go buy your own wood. Because this is ridiculous. Well, I kept working on it, and I kept working on it, and as you can see, my methods might not be the best, and I have to admit, this is the first time I've taken a pallet apart So maybe it'll get better. I don't know. I have another pallet sitting in my driveway right now, and we're definitely gonna mess with it and see what else I can make out of it. Oh yes, and then I broke the wood. I was hoping I was gonna be able to use the wood for other things, but this one broke, and you know, my attention span and patience with it was growing thin. So I just ripped it apart and then took out the screws. As you can see here, it just seemed to be the best option possible. And those screws were a bear. I'll tell you what. Once I got that one out, I figured I definitely had to get this centerpiece out. So that was the next thing. And I broke some more wood. You can't really see it very well, maybe a little bit there, but some of the wood underneath, yeah, there you go. See in the middle, it chipped, but it's really the bottom part. And once I got it out here, I decided, look at that. It would go great to hold those together, and I just ixnayed taking that top part off altogether because I figured it would look a little bit more like a bed. And then that part in the middle would be more sturdy. So then I just sanded everything down since I'd made such a mess. Sand that bad boy down, and here you go. So just to make this a little bit more stable, we are putting this piece here, and I think it's going to give it a better finished look overall. I already put the screws where I want them, so I'm just going to drill them in place. Solid. And we're going to do it on the other side, and then I will hand tighten them up so I don't strip the screws anymore that I already have. You definitely want to put screws on both sides to make sure it stays in place. Although this was on the bottom, it's going to hold the pallet together better and keep the dog from ruining it as easily. Oh, those are in tight. Tighten these ones up on this side. I'm stripping the screw. That's not good. As soon as those screws started to strip, I knew it was time to go ahead and take the hand screwdriver to it, which is probably smarter anyways. I really just needed to get in there a little bit and then start it. And, you know, sometimes you just hammer things in place. It's improvised. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It'll work.
Hi, buddy. Come here. Where's my boy? Come on, Hanson. It's okay. This is going to be for you. Yeah. And this is going to be for you.
Okay, so I got a foam bed, basically. I mean, it's just a foam square, rectangle. I got it from Walmart. I'll put the link for it below. I think it was like $12, $13, maybe max. And it actually was the exact size that I needed, which was amazing. So I didn't have to cut it at all. And then I found this outdoor furniture piece of fabric, actually at a thrift store for like, I don't know, $1 or something stupid like that. Outdoor fabric is very, very expensive because it's very durable, but it's perfect for dog beds so that they can't ruin it. So I highly recommend trying to find some. Oh yes, and then my camera failed on me. Yep. Then I had to stain the wood. I was using this Rust-Oleum stain that I've had, and I'm using on a bunch of projects right now. I like to reuse things. I like to not have to buy anything, you know, and then it makes it so everything inside the house is the same. I was using a paintbrush, and I have since figured out a rag would have been much better so you could have actually seen the wood. With the paintbrush, it actually just looked like paint, and it doesn't show the wood at all, really. ta-da! Here it is in our living room. I think it came out really good. Pops obviously didn't use it, but oh well. Oh, isn't he cute? I wish he would have used it, but he didn't. And he has since been adopted and is living in New Hampshire, so good for you, Pops. I love you, I miss you. And now Summit uses it. So all's well that ends well. I hope you guys liked this. Like I said before, it was a fun project, and I think it's something totally anybody could do. It's really not that difficult, and you don't necessarily need a power sander, although they're not expensive, and if you plan on like doing any projects in the future, totally worth the investment. And they already come with grits usually, so you can just plug and play. If you guys like this, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button and let me know what you think. If you think it turned out well, if you think I should have done something different, if you'd like to see more pallet projects, if you'd like to see more dog projects, let me know one way or another, and I'd love to do more with you and for you guys. Thanks, and I hope you guys have a great day. Mwah!